Hey, and welcome to Glitch Please. Totally the first time we've tried that, too. Camera's over there. Hi, camera. How are you? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Mario plus Rabbids. We got some news, and thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring it. I'm joined today by...
Adam.
And...
I'm Peyton. Hello.
And there's like there's a hole right here where at some point
Someone
Mika
will
might
live here.
be. Maybe. We don't know. There's like an emergency in progress somewhere, and it turns out Mika's part-time superhero. She's off fixing that. Or a water leak. I don't know. I'm Ryan, by the way. I'm not used to the camera being over there. Just going to have to keep whipping it around. Boy, that's way over there. Is that what Gus has to do all the time? It's like...
Why do you think I like the middle? I just like to just sit and look right ahead.
Just stare directly into the nothing, which I'm used to. Well, I guess I just don't talk to the camera very often. Hi, guys. What have you been
What's
up
up,
to?
man? I've been playing mostly Mario and Rabbids, I think. No, you know what? I also played a whole shitload of Path of Exile still. I was on that kick for a good 2 or 3 weeks.
So did you lose your character, or did you start a new one?
I lost my character at level 77. I played like 50-something hours before I lost him. And you know what? I was totally happy to lose him.
50-something hours. So that's... And you got to level 77.
I was
That's not
feeling
a bad
I was at
progression.
endgame. For my first character, I made it to endgame in hardcore. I was real happy. And then I just immediately started a new character, and he shoots ice out, and that game is fucking great.
So you're Iceman now.
I'm Iceman, yeah.
That's the game with the crazy skill tree, right? Okay.
That's the game with the crazy skill tree.
How, does it play like Diablo? I've only seen videos.
It plays like Diablo 2 a little bit. It's kind of like a spiritual successor to Diablo 2.
Okay.
But it's just a really well-made ARPG, and it's free. And if you don't play it, or at least try it, you're being silly because it's free. It's free. It's free.
It is free.
It's free.
And
The only microtransactions are cosmetic.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
One thing I didn't ask last time, it's multiplayer, but how can you play it single player? Or?
Yeah, I mean it's like Diablo. Like
Can you play it offline?
No, it's all connecting to servers.
Okay. So I can't download it and play it on the plane.
No,
Okay.
unless you get Wi-Fi on the plane.
I'm not
But
gonna-
I would also not do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Peyton, how about you? What have you been playing?
I messed with the Destiny 2 beta last night.
Oh.
Oh, that too. Yeah. Holy shit.
I did not like the first Destiny.
All right. No, come on, share how you really feel.
What's the problem, dude?
Tell us the real thing. Let it out. This is a space for healing.
Those first quests you go on in that first game,
You can call them lame. It's okay.
they're so boring, and I just didn't feel like wasting my time with them, so I just threw the game out. And
Harsh, but true. Yeah.
I can't blame you for like not wanting to trudge through the bullshit to get to the good parts of that game.
Right.
But it was a good game, and I think you.
It was eventually a good game.
Even in its beginning state, I put a lot of fucking time into it because I liked it. Like, yes, it was broken and bad in some ways, but like I still dumped hours and hours and hours into it, even before any expansions or fixes.
Yeah, I mean, its opening delivery to you was a really non-immersive or interesting story.
Yeah,
the gameplay was always great. I mean, it was
bad. Yeah, right.
The playing it was fun. It shot well. Where did you just shoot?
It just like
Eric went again.
it flew away. I want to bring it back to me.
What is that?
This is green tea
Okay.
with citrus. So did you play it on PC?
Yeah, I'm actually really shocked how well that ran on my PC. I mean, I don't have like a shitty PC, but I got it a few years ago, so a lot of the newer stuff I'm having to like crank down to medium and like I'm not playing at the full 60, but this was just like I booted it right up, everything ran smooth as butter.
Yep. It does a great job at auto-detecting settings.
Yeah.
And also running at 60. That game.
What a weird compliment. Boy, it sure knows how to tell what kind of potato you're running on.
I loaded it up my laptop, loaded it up my desktop, and both ran like butter. Both weren't quite at max. I mean, my laptop obviously is more like medium settings, but even at medium settings, it looks pretty fucking fantastic. And at 60 frames a second, it looks better than the console versions.
Well, what was in the beta? So
it is.
Is it still running, and what was in it?
Is it still running? Yes.
I think it ends today.
Ends today.
Today's last day.
Sorry,
Well,
you
it ends
missed
the
it.
31st.
Yeah. It's the first mission of the game.
Okay.
A strike, which you play with other players, and a multiplayer. I think what's the multiplayer mode?
There's two. If you do the casual playlist, it's the control point mode on one of the maps, and then the competitive playlist. If you go in there, it's a different map, and it's the Counter-Strike like mode. I don't know what the name of it is.
Gotcha.
Where it's you plant the bomb and you only have one life.
Right.
But yeah, it remains to be seen if I'm gonna enjoy slogging through those opening quests again in this one. But because the part I was always interested in with Destiny was the strikes and the group content. And so I wasn't ready to just slog through all the single player stuff to get to that group stuff in the first one. And so this beta was cool because it just fast forwards you right to all that stuff. So, I mean, I liked it. I liked what I played.
Did you enjoy I thought the first mission of this game was like pretty fucking fantastic. Not only is there like story integrated, but like you see some of the human elements where you actually see people that are like cowering in fear. You have voice acting. They do a really cool thing, which I hope they do later in the game, where you walk into a certain part of the mission and it brings in other players. Like other players are already instanced with you. Like you don't. It's totally seamless. You walk into this area and they're there. And so I'm hoping that like in the main campaign, like you'll get to a large battle and then we'll instance even more people with you, like 16 people around there, and it would just feel like a larger epic battle.
I mean, there were some elements of that in one, right? If you ever had to like travel from one place to another, you might go through areas where there were other people.
Yeah,
doing
but that's
things,
in the patrol zone
Yeah.
in the open world. I'm talking like in a mission, you're all of a sudden at a part where like the Cabal are attacking, and then there are a couple of the Guardians there to help you fight off waves of Cabal. And I thought it was like a really cool way to implement like co-op in a sense.
Yeah, that was definitely the coolest moment of the opening mission. Because yeah, like I said, the group stuff is what has always interested me with that game. And the single player stuff, I mean, it was fine. It was cool. But it was also just like, I don't know, it was like a shooter mission from like a Halo or something is what it felt like. But then when I walked outside and saw all those other players there, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. So I'm hoping if there's more of that, I might be into that a little more.
How do you feel about the co-op still being 3? It's still kind of strange, right?
Yeah, I would have liked Destiny 2 to add a new class and add a fourth member to the party. But I guess it is what it is. Like, you got to take what you can get. I mean,
Well, you say that, but I mean, each of the classes have their own subclasses, so
yeah,
you could still have diversity.
They certainly
there.
do, but
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're sticking to that number 3 for a reason. Maybe 3 is the most common amount of people you can get together to play with. You know, I always feel like I have a 4th or a 5th, but
Yeah, I don't know where they would come up with that number because
I don't know.
mean,
Halo.
To be fair, there's no reason that 4 sounds better. It's sort of an arbitrary number, but you'd think that.
Yeah, I
like
often.
even- Oh, look, it's Mika. Hi.
My sink exploded at 6 a.m. this
It
morning.
was a water emergency. I won.
Awesome.
Oops.
Ryan, you want to
Get your
scoot
chair.
down?
Yeah. Oh wait, am I gonna scoot over this way, or is she gonna insert here?
Your call.
I'm entrenched now.
I guess that makes sense.
I'm laptopped up. I'm just not going anywhere.
So yeah, you played Destiny. What'd you play?
Honestly, I've been playing War of the Chosen.
Okay, that was like the other XCOM game that came out.
The other XCOM game?
Yeah,
well,
Mario
okay, as
Rabbids.
opposed to Mario plus Rabbids, yeah. Man, and boy, did they go the different direction from Mario plus Rabbids from
A
what?
little less, a little more serious.
Well, aside from the seriousness, just okay. So XCOM 2 was already a pretty deep system to it.
Yes.
There was a lot going on, and now it's twice that. It's basically, have you ever heard of the mod for XCOM called Long War? I believe.
Yeah.
So that added a lot of additional levels to the game, and I feel like they maybe took some inspiration from that in what they did here. Now you've got characters bonding with other characters, and that means they can share their action points. Come on in. Here, I'll move this chair down. Nice work.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Ingenuity.
By the way, you're a superhero now.
All right, War of the Chosen.
So now you've got, your characters will get tired. Like you can't just run the same team. That was kind of one of the things I used to do in XCOM previously was I would just run the same team and they would level up, and you'd end up at the end with like, okay, that's my guys.
Yeah, there's your like level 40 dude who kills everyone in one hit.
I have no reason to take anybody else, so I'd end up with like 6 guys that were awesome and a bunch of rookies who had just never gone into the field.
Yes. Because it's a pain in the ass.
The
to, like,
Pokemon
level up your
problem,
dudes.
if you
It
will.
is.
Pokemon
Is that what it
problem.
is?
Well, until they got that, what is the item that lets you level up all your Pokemon while they're in your bag?
Right.
EXP share.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's just a cheat.
It is
you
such
get
a
that like
cheat,
the
dude.
second town now, and
Yeah.
it's just like, fuck it. You don't need to put any other Pokemon out
No.
ever.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
but
I
also
love
stupid.
it. Yeah.
Go on. All right, War of the Chosen. Tell me about the fucking game.
I mean, that's the I haven't actually even
So
encountered.
you
well,
said,
okay.
You said now you can't just use one party. What happens?
they get tired and they start developing traits.
This is like very
Like
Darkest
hangry?
Dungeon,
Yeah.
by the way.
Actually, yeah. So I was using. I started my own squad, and I was using like achievement hunter people as my team. Jack and Jeff died immediately. I deployed myself and Michael while we were tired, and then we picked up a negative trait. Mine being that I'm overly aggressive, which means that if you put me in Overwatch, I may just shoot somebody, just run at something. And I think
Eat teammates?
I'm not entirely sure. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
It's like you might do something. I don't know.
That's great because this is that. When I started playing Darkest Dungeon, there were features in that game where I was like, this makes the game harder, but also more interesting. And it's like things like if you let your characters go insane, they have a heart attack and things like that. And it sounds like XCOM is sort of taking a lot of that into it as well.
They have, yeah. If you deploy them when they're tired, they get shaken, and then they have to recover from being shaken. They have to recover their and the tired. Like I was maybe like halfway tired on one of my characters, and it was like 11, 12 days before he was going to be good again. So they need fucking vacations. They need some mani-pedis. I'm going to have to build like a spa on my ship to
Send
get
them
them
to
back in the field.
Waikiki, make them
Basically,
feel okay.
Except the aliens control that now.
Oh, well, that's not
The other fun part about it is there's like so many. I'm sorry, you won't understand this, but there's so many Star Trek TNG voice actors.
Who?
I was like,
What?
I was like, what is he? What is he?
Where's he
saying?
going? Star Trek who?
The first, the sniper lady that you encounter is Marina
LeVar Burton?
Sirtis.
Ah!
Yeah.
Wow.
I know that one.
Yeah. And her boss is Jonathan Frakes.
I didn't know Aunt Marina and Uncle Jonathan were in video games.
Michael Dorn is another one of the.
Uncle Michael's in it too.
Someone was telling me that Patrick Stewart is the radio guy, but I'm not sure. And I think there might be more that I haven't.
My
encountered.
whole
Patrick, you think
family's in
Patrick
it.
Stewart's bothering with video games, man.
I think he does.
was
really
in
well.
Patrick likes video games.
Yeah, all right.
I think
He
he's
also,
just like
I mean,
whatever.
he's Family Guy and American Dad too. He likes
true.
voice acting.
He's just having fun being Patrick. These
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And he likes dogs, and he adopts and fosters dogs now. Yeah.
So Ryan, have you gotten to the point where you can also use bonds with XCOM?
Yeah, I've done one bond, and I haven't used it in the field yet, but it basically you can share action points. So if I bond with a character, which by the way, me and Jeremy locked it down. Battle Buddies bond, it's real. Michael hates Gavin though. I don't know why. That one just fell
That seems
apart.
realistic.
Yeah. True life.
But so if I have, you have two actions for each character typically. If you have two people there that are bonded, though, I can throw one of the action points to the other character. And I think there may be more that can do that I haven't just gotten.
Can you
enough in yet.
team jump off of
jump
an
off their
XCOM
heads?
friend?
I assume that's like level 2 of a bond. We have to like go bro it out first,
Fair enough.
and then we're there.
See, they have that right off the bat in Mario. so-
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Supposedly it's supposed to help you like develop your soldiers better, like they'll gain more experience and whatnot. But if one of them dies with a bond, it creates an emotional scar on the other guy. So good luck.
Don't worry, I'll scar
Creates,
everybody.
Like, a really good dramatic rom-com. The other person dies and they have to go like avenge their death and they fall in love with another soldier or something. I think it could be pretty good.
What if he's not ready to love again?
Between Ryan and
See,
Jeremy.
and that's where it's the drama comes in. It's a rom-com.
Who's Jeremy gonna bond with when I die?
Ooh, that's a good question. We'll just have to
alien.
tune in and find out, won't we? Oh.
Well,
So you mentioned a sniper lady earlier. So are
one
there
of the
like
Reaper faction.
are there full-on like characters now, or is these just like your commanders that you talk to?
They're
or-
still customizable. So there are 3 major factions, which I'm not sure what I've done to the story by customizing that character. Maybe because like I said, it's Marina Sirtis. Am I saying her name right?
Yes.
Okay. But because I was just playing around and wanted another character, I changed the character that she enters as, which is a Reaper character, to a male and Jeremy. So it's no longer the character that was originally there and was in kind of like cutscene things. Like she was interacting with people. So I think maybe for the cutscene stuff, it'll be those faces, characters, and then you just get to keep those characters and do things with them. Or at least so far, that's the only one I have.
Okay.
There are 3 factions. I'm not going to spoil anything. I've only encountered 2 so far, and I've only been able to actually use one character or keep one character. But it's just because there's story happening. You have to kind of develop your relationship with all these factions and bring them together. That's another subplot. Plus, if you played XCOM 2 with the Alien Hunters DLC, that added all these extra alien monsters that would show up occasionally and attack. This has added another layer on top of that where there's elite assassins that are out looking for each of the individual factions. And each of the factions has their own kind of nemesis assassin. And so the other factions are more advantageous to use against that particular assassin.
Interesting.
And they'll show up depending on what you're rating.
XCOM sounds complicated.
So
It's gotten much more
Thumbs
complicated.
up.
Thumbs up so far.
Cool.
I'm not too deep into it, about 3 hours, which for XCOM is like,
It's like a mission.
it's basically. It's definitely more story driven though, so it's interesting.
Is it? I know with XCOM 1's expansion, it was just tacked onto the main story. Is that how this is, or is it like its own?
This is, if you played XCOM 2, this is nothing like it, really, in a lot of ways. I mean, you get the same general idea of what's going on, and the gameplay is slightly modified, but still pretty much the same in terms of combat, but the progression of the world map seems very different.
It's a separate campaign though? Like you launch it separately?
You can launch it separately, yes.
Okay.
On the launcher now, there's a War of the Chosen or regular.
Do you start with a new party, or can you bring your party over from your original?
I don't believe you can bring anything over.
Okay,
It's
cool.
a start from scratch kind of
Okay,
thing.
okay, that's what I
It's
was-
not like a DLC like the other ones were, where you could just
Yeah.
turn it on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How did we
and
get on XCOM? How did we get on XCOM? I missed the
well,
beginning.
we're
what
just
we've
at the
been playing.
beginning. We're like,
Oh.
what are you so Mika, what are you playing?
Nothing. I've been traveling too much.
All right.
Oh no, wait. Fate at Stala on the Switch. The
Hell is that?
Sorry, what?
Fate. The
Fate Extella.
Stala.
We know
is-
what the Switch is. We just
Okay.
need to know what the game is.
Yeah, it's on the Switch. Okay, so Fate.
It's this shape.
It's just
you know?
it- you and you
the
play
game
it
is
and
on.
Wow.
you.
It's this little window into a game world.
So since I've been traveling, I've been like out of town every week, and I've only been able to play on my Switch. And there's this series called Fate. There's like Fate Go, Fate Extala. There's a manga. There's an anime. There's video games, and there's one of the video games is on the Switch. It was ported from the PlayStation, I believe, and it's kind of like a insert something Warriors, like Hyrule Warriors, Fire
Insert
Emblem
something
Warriors.
weeb. Look at this.
It's very weeby. It's super weeby. All my waifus and husbandos are in it. One of the characters is absolutely in love with you, and it's great. But it's continues. There's also now a mobile game. There's a Fate Go mobile game, and yeah, there it is. And it's really fun, and there's a
What
good
kind of
story.
game is it?
It's a beat 'em up, like a Warriors game. So it's like a hack
Oh,
and
okay.
slash.
It actually is okay.
Yeah.
Like Dynasty
so,
Warriors, right? Like
Dynasty
Dynasty
Warriors?
Warriors.
Like Dynasty Warriors, exactly.
That was like a JRPG.
I wish it was.
so thrown
no.
off.
But it's so you kind of build your army, and there's like 3 different story branches that kind of take place during the same story. You follow 3 different characters, and all these characters have different stories and different backstories depending on which arc you're reading. But it's been fun. It's been a fun, like,
cool little mindless
beat 'em up on like multiple flights. So
Cool.
that's all I've been up to. I can't wait to get back into and finish Persona 5. Destiny 2 comes out
Oh,
next
Destiny
week.
2.
Like I can't.
You will not see me next week.
Same.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna be absolutely gone. Like I've been waiting for this game to come out since they announced it, and playing it at E3 was amazing. Playing it on PC was amazing. Playing
And
it on
it's
Xbox
nice
was
playing that
amazing.
game on PC. I have
It's
to say,
so
like,
nice.
I'm kind of disappointed that we have to wait another month and a half, but I'm just gonna play on PS4 and then PC.
I'm gonna play on Xbox. I'm probably gonna play because like the first time I played it was at E3 on their PS or on their PC rig,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd never played a shooter on PC before because I'm a console player. Like I don't have a good PC setup at all.
Get one.
Let me just pull thousands of dollars out of my back pocket.
Get
It's
one.
time.
I know it's time.
You could slap something together for 100,000.
Okay, well let me just pull under $1,000 out of my pocket.
Don't tell people that.
Oh my God.
Don't tell her that doesn't include a monitor.
God damn. See, this is why I don't have one yet. But playing it on PC at E3 was an amazing experience, and it was so much fun. So I think that if I was to invest in a PC, it would probably be just to play Destiny 2 because it's beautiful and it feels nice, and I freaking love that game. I love Destiny so much. Oh God, I'm so excited.
And then
so.
you slowly discovered that it's just a beautiful world
is.
over there of PC gaming where everything's
thought you were talking about
prettier
Destiny.
and loads faster.
Ryan, I know you've been telling me to get a PC since E3.
There's 30 whole
Probably
more
before that.
frames
Yeah.
on the PC version.
I
It's
know.
true.
Or more.
Listen, I have a really shitty, like, gaming laptop, and the only thing that runs well on it is Stardew Valley.
I mean,
So
I don't know how it could consider itself a gaming laptop if that's its pinnacle of
that's
achievement.
the thing. It's like it's a piece of shit. Like I got it it was like a Christmas present. Like you're a gamer. Here's a gaming laptop, and I was
that's
like,
how gaming laptops go, man.
That's
Yeah.
true.
you said you ran it on your laptop and it ran fine.
Yeah, but like in a year or two, that laptop was going to be a piece of shit.
yeah, mine is 4 years old.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Oh,
run.
that's basically like a stone axe at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah. So it doesn't really run anything. So I would like to look into getting. I will consult the PC experts in the office and hopefully put together something that won't break my bank. But
A wise decision.
yes,
We've talked about having a segment actually where we're just going to build a PC.
Yeah, we have
can we build Mika's?
weird conversations. Yeah, whatever. What's next?
What's next is the news.
Wow. Okay.
All right, news. She usually just reads these, right?
Yeah.
It's like I don't pay attention. All right, first off, Half-Life 3 story and beta test levels leaked. As we approach the 10th year anniversary of Half-Life 2 Episode 2, a suspicious array of leaks were released this week. First was writer Mark Laidlaw, outlining the story beats of Half-Life 3. Then a collection of playable test levels were released called Half-Life 2 Aftermath, which I didn't know until I read that, and now I need to go
You didn't know
download
that? Yeah.
No.
It's very much just like a tech demo.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
real basic.
Apparently, it supposedly shows what the early design of gameplay systems would have been like in Half-Life 3, allegedly.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
it happening?
this is a-
What do you think?
Well, no, I mean, this is like sort of like the nail in the coffin for Half-Life 3. It was already like no one thought it was going to come out, but this is sort of like it's not, I wouldn't call it bittersweet at all. I would call it just bitter. Like you get to
hate.
like there's this outline of I think he eventually came out and was like, oh, it's a fan fiction. This is not really the story beats, but like it really like it likely is just the story for the game, and
But
now it's
don't
never
forget,
happening.
someone
Ooh,
is putting together a Half-Life 3 game jam. And it's like,
That- I
I mean,
don't-
it's not real.
I don't want that.
It's not real,
I
but
want,
people are
I want
trying
the
to keep
people
it
who
alive.
made Half-Life 2
to make Half-Life 3. Yeah, well, at
you know,
least
and-
someone's trying to give fans closure.
I don't, at this point, I feel like maybe the community, that's one of those things where that's what they're afraid of, right? Is the community came up with better stuff than they
Yeah.
felt like they could. So maybe the community should just go ahead and make
That's what they said in, like, someone said in an interview that they at this point cannot live up to the hype that Half-Life 3, like Half-Life 3 is its own meme.
So just call it something
just-
else and make a
there was
game.
it's in the fans' hands
There was a
now.
compilation of Gabe Newell talking about Half-Life 3, and like at first he was very candid of like, yeah, when Half-Life Episode 3 comes out, and man, it got like really depressing halfway through, where he's just like very angry, like I'm not talking about Half-Life 3. Like,
Aw.
like it like clearly like at some point the scales tipped where like they just weren't going to be able to put it out, and he like did not want to talk about it. When's the last time you played Half-Life 2?
God, it's been years.
I play that game every couple of years. It holds up so well, dude.
I mean,
It's such
yeah.
a good game.
Is it like your every twice annual Half-Life 2?
It's a fucking great game. Seriously, like it still is. Like, the story is still good. Graphically, it's still honestly totally fine, and like it still feels really good to shoot things. So,
Yeah, I was messing around with those leaked test levels, and I mean, they're all done with Half-Life 2 assets. There's nothing really new there. There's like a couple new enemies, and that's about it. But all it really made me want to do was just like, man, I should play Half-Life 2 again.
I know, yeah.
But there were some interesting ideas in those test levels. A lot of the levels in that leaked thing were just like short experiments, but some of them were really interesting. Some of them were like, oh, every time you go into a room, a different set of enemies spawns. So like, I assume it's if you are in a big open area and you like keep coming back to it, to a certain place, like different enemy placements will be there. It won't just be the same enemies every time. Or maybe when you reload a save, different enemies will be there. Sort of like Halo style, where they act differently every time you load.
Right.
But the most interesting thing I thought was there was a big level where they were testing this like resource gathering mechanic, where it was a big open area and different sections of it were gated off, and you would have to kill enemies and they would drop like resources. There was like mechanical resources, energy, and like biomechanical resources, I think was the third one. And so depending on which types of enemies you killed, they would drop the different resource types, and you'd have to use these resources to, one, open these gates, and then once you got past the initial gate, there was like this control panel that opened up, and you could spend your resources there and get like straight up just like RPG like upgrades for Gordon Freeman.
No, so they were like trying to implement some sort of progression.
Yeah, which I thought was a really interesting idea.
That's
for
cool.
Half-Life.
Is there a Half-Life mod where Gordon Freeman is Morgan Freeman?
I'm sure there is.
Well, it's funny because I looked this up and it directed me over to ModDB, which I have not been to ModDB in years. But apparently that's where you can download it. It lists here what's in it, which is at least one of the mod contains 11 levels created by Valve between 2012 and 2013, intended for Half-Life 3. But they were gameplay experiments, not storyline-based levels.
Yeah, levels is a
Level,
strong
yeah.
word. Yeah.
Map maybe would be a better description. 4 demonstration levels created by Lever Softworks to show various functions and NPCs. There's a weapon, a combine laser gun that shoots through walls. There was some kind of, I guess, a command which toggles the developer console spam created by. So there's, I guess that weapon can blow up a bunch of DM stuff. And a couple new enemies, an armored combine soldier and a city scanner with a laser gun.
The
So that's
modders
what's
behind
in
it
the
are
first place.
still working on it pretty heavily. There's more coming soon. I guess the whole reason they actually pushed it out so soon is because of Mark Laidlaw's episode 3 post. And the modders have been working with Valve's news network there's like a YouTube video I guess they've released that you're supposed to play in conjunction with the mod now. So you can watch through that, and I guess it talks about like speculation for Half-Life 3. It seems like a lot of it they're trying to push out because of Mark Laidlaw's episode 3 post.
Did you guys read the episode 3 post?
I started it.
I haven't read the whole thing yet.
I didn't read the whole thing. Do you?
I did. It sounded really cool because the whole thing was about the boat that went missing, the Borealis, and
Love that character.
yeah, they were talking about how like when you eventually get to the boat, a lot of the boat was like stuck in like a time loop thing.
So it's kind of like what the fuck is it? Go on. It's
Yeah.
the first person shooter. I can't
But
think of
it was
Singularity.
Yeah, it sounded like there would be stuff like that when you were on the ship where you would be going through rooms and you'd be like jumping through time as you jumped through rooms.
Oh, that's cool.
And like rooms would be split through time. And so that sounded like there could have been a lot of cool like gameplay opportunities there.
They sort of did. I mean, games have sort of done that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Like Titanfall 2 had like bouncing between time.
did, yeah.
Which was
That's right.
fucking amazing.
Oh, Titanfall 2.
Yeah, what a good game.
It's a great game. Again, if you haven't played it, I'm sure it's on sale. Go pick it up.
I feel like it got
Can't
swept
get,
under the rug
can't
so
get Half-Life
fast.
3, but get Titanfall 2.
You got what?
Titanfall 2 got swept under the rug
It
so
did.
quickly.
It got battlefielded.
It did. Oh, ouch.
Which, I mean, to go under another game, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, Battlefield 1 wasn't bad, but it was not Titanfall.
No.
Titanfall was a really good game, single player and multiplayer.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about Miiverse closing down then. Nintendo announced that they're shutting down Miiverse on Wednesday. Are you going to be okay?
Oh, wait. I'm so sad
I
about
just
it.
assumed that you cared because
No.
it's a Nintendo thing.
No.
Well, Wednesday, November 8th, it's gone forever.
Well, I'll
Mika's-
wear all black.
Your inner demons, I know you're hiding them well.
Just crushing.
Miiverse
Crushed.
was all right. There was some really dumb shit you could find on there that was always fun to laugh at.
I think the only good thing that I remember about the Miiverse is when like the Grumps would do a Let's Play and they would be playing a Mario game. Like 4 episodes later, people would start posting dedicated Miiverse posts to them, and it would show up on the show. That's the only thing that I can think of that like.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Miiverse useful for.
I like the concept of it, but like it's not in use on the Switch, so what the...
All right, what
And
the hell is
Splatoon
it?
is going to stay.
I mean, it
It's
says here
this.
it's
Look here. So
it's a social network.
It's like a plaza. And
Okay.
you can wander around and see people's notes, basically.
Why would I want to do that?
and then
Because it's a community thing. Like it's a way to like interact. You can just see people's drawings of dicks and things like that, and then
Yeah.
report them.
Apparently, you could also post YouTube highlights in Mario Kart 8 and
did
things
not know
like that.
that.
Yeah, it's the games that are affected by this will be Mario Kart 8, Splatoon, Super Mario 3D World, Mario Maker, and Super Smash Bros.
but
Apparently
not
they all had-
Splatoon 2.
I guess
just Splatoon.
that some games also had integrated Miiverse support, where
Uh-huh.
it would drop Dark Souls style notes, as they just showed in the video. That was like, how do I beat this level? And
That does suck that it's gonna go away in Mario Maker because that was really helpful for a lot of people.
Sure.
You can toggle the notes on and off, and if you got stuck somewhere, if you toggle them on, usually it would be like you said, Dark Souls style. Like, this is how you do that.
How was the reliability on that? Because in Dark Souls, there'd be a lot of people that'd be like,
that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. In Dark Souls, it'd be like, take leap of faith, and you're like, all right,
okay.
Yeah.
exactly. No, usually people aren't dicks in the
Okay.
Miiverse. Usually, that's not a rule of thumb there, but I don't know. It was,
No one's doing the Alt F4 or anything.
no one's. That's so mean. No one's doing anything like that. But it's a decent. You could leave notes and do art. But Splatoon 2 is really the only relevant place that happens, and it's not shutting down now. So
What
are you doing? The coasters are suctioning,
He's
and
deploying the power of
suctioning them to the bottom of the
It's
table.
like awesome, dude.
making use of the power of vacuum.
So cool.
All right, well, it seems like consensus is no one gives a
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got distracted by suctioning my
No, I understand.
couple.
I mean, I give kind of a shit. Like the only thing I'm worried about is with Mario Maker. This isn't taking away the ability to share Mario Maker levels, is it?
No.
Okay. That's
It's
the
just
only thing I
taking
was
away the
worried about.
ability to leave a note
Yeah, okay.
that says, jump here if you're stuck.
Yeah, that sucks, but that's not like game breaking. Like not allowing the distribution of levels anymore would be.
Then there wouldn't be a point to Mario
Right.
Maker.
Exactly. That's why.
Do you think if they'd not pulled it out of Switch, they would still be shutting it down?
No, because
Yeah,
people
no,
will be using it.
because
on
People
Switch.
still
Yeah.
just, or
But
people still
they
not care?
clearly intended to from the
Yeah.
like the inception of Switch because they didn't bring it over to Switch.
It's true.
Like Amika said, it's kind of moved on to Splatoon 2. People are making like photorealistic images that are being thrown up on like Splatoon 2's like
The
main
dicks are
hub.
now photorealistic, is what you're saying.
It's
Pretty
crazy.
much.
I just sent an
They're
image
veiny.
to the control room if they can throw that up of like stuff that they can do with it.
Is it
Circumcised,
the blinking GIF?
uncircumcised.
Because someone did the photorealistic version of that, and I was like,
People are recreating GIFs. They're recreating like all sorts of stuff that it's so it's kind of continued on into Splatoon 2.
Yeah, Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
If you want some fun drawings of Squidward, Splatoon 2.
with Woomy next to it. God. Splatoon 2, like the lobby has just turned into what's the most recent meme. You're going to see it everywhere.
Plastered on everything.
Perfect. That's the way
It's
I
so
want it.
great.
Can you share them, or you have to build them yourself?
You have to build, so you go into this little kind of like notepad and you have to draw it yourself, and people spend hours like photorealistic pixel by pixel, like recreating sad Keanu, like tapping on the screen.
There's no
pixel by
stylus
pixel.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're doing
No,
this with fingers.
People either
You can
do it
also
with
do it.
fingers
You can
or
also do it with your thumbstick.
Yeah. So people are spending hours and hours and hours creating these incredible pixel arts or drawings. Like artists will get stylists or use their fingers or and put up these drawings for the Splatoon 2 lobby. And you just walk around and you see everybody's art, or you see people posting like "Splat me, Daddy." That happens often. Oh, Splatoon!
All right.
What a wonderful place.
Let's
to
move
live.
on from Spot.
So we got 3 don't give a fucks and 1 like halvesy, and that's
the halvesy?
That's
Oh, you.
Miiverse is all right.
except that it doesn't matter as much because Mario Maker's still fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe upgraded to like 3
Quartersy.
don't gives a fuck and like a quarter give a fuck.
Yeah.
All right, bye Miiverse. Apparently no one will miss you. Fallout 4 Creation Club mods have free counterparts. After a few failed attempts at bringing paid mods to their games, Bethesda has finally made it a reality with Fallout 4 Creation Club. The way it works is you pay for creation credits and then use credits to buy the mods, so they did actually make it a microtransaction.
Fucking hate the credits.
The minimum purchase you can make is $7.99 for 750 credits. Gamers have been quick to point out that there are similar free mods and criticize the use of an opaque currency.
Want to know
do you
the
think?
best part about that?
What?
The minimum 750 credits is more than most of the purchases. Most things are around 400 to 500. So you have to buy
Weird.
more than you're actually going to pay for. And then if you want to buy a second one, you're going to have to buy another $7.99 because you don't have enough
cycle
to
going.
just keep the cycle
This is some,
going,
like,
which is such
360
bullshit.
Era, like Microsoft points bullshit right
Yeah.
here.
Oh.
A real pain in the ass. I mean, don't support it. You know, if you really don't like it, vote with your wallet. Don't fucking buy weird mods off this stupid platform.
Yeah, and they're saying there's like this mega awesome Fallout 4 power armor that's free and better than the paid version. And people were like, who the fuck? Why? Just paid mods are stupid.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think this is a good idea, but
I think there is a place for creators of mods to get money for what
Oh,
they're right.
100%.
This isn't the best implementation at all.
No.
But I think that people have the right to say, hey, I worked for many hours on this product. Give me money for it.
Absolutely.
And
but
they're
you're
just not doing
gonna
it well.
if you're gonna stay in competition with free,
Totally.
that in some ways that marketplace can't exist in a world where both are available because someone will look at one that's not free and go, well, I can make that, and they'll make free competition.
Right.
Unless you are like a very talented person and you want to like just make your mods go to free, then you have a talent that people have to pay for, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
this just isn't the best. Like paying for points and shit like that and obscuring it that way is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone does it. It's like
No, they don't.
that's okay.
I mean, a
guess
lot of people
Steam
do.
doesn't, and I guess Microsoft doesn't anymore.
No, and like even Nintendo, you can buy like $50 at once, but you can pay just the right amount.
I mean, I feel like you make a good point. Mods and they're artists. They should be paid
Yeah.
for their work. They work very, very hard. They make incredible things that make your game more beautiful, more fun. But I think just like the video game movie curse, we haven't had a good video game movie. We haven't found a proper way to integrate mods and money. And I feel like we should find that way, because I feel bad for all these modders who are working so hard and get nothing other than people saying, hey, good mod, dude.
Well, but that's not really the point. I mean, those people are making them usually. You don't make a mod because you think I'm
That's
going to
true.
get rich on the mod.
You make the mod to make it better.
You make it for love.
It's true, and maybe
You make it for a resume, dude.
that's true.
Or a
for a
resume.
resume. Hopefully, there will be gaming companies that see these people's work and will hire them to do what they love, and they can still make mods for people who love it. I want all artists to get what they earn and deserve.
A
Because
lot of the
artists
modding
are great.
community, like what they're worried about is there's nothing really in place on the Nexus, I think is what the hub's called for
Mm-hmm.
this. For a creator or a modder to create something, throw it up like on the Nexus, and Bethesda see that and say, I bet we could do that better, and do it, and then they push that out with a price.
There's no protection.
Yeah, because
Right.
technically it's all under their own copyright, so they have no legal ground to say, hey, that was mine. They're like, actually, it's ours.
Yeah. Also,
So-
with the pricing, it does seem like the pricing has that extra currency attached at the end, just so there's like smaller things you can pick up. Like for instance, the first thing, of course, that launched with it was horsepower armor for 250 credits,
It's
which
the
is about
fucking best, dude.
$3. And then there's smaller like Pip-Boy paint jobs for 50 credits that you can kind of just like spend that extra cash on, but it does seem super needless.
It's just like they need to be not selling this like cosmetic like bullshit that you can just get for free. Like if they want people to buy these mods, they need to make them higher quality. They need to make them like full-on story missions or like stuff like that, because people make those, and so they need to be tapping those creators and say, hey, like keep your current story mod for free, but we'll give you a little bit of funding to make a new one, a better one that people will pay for, and then you'll get a cut of that pay, which I think is the ideal way to go about it.
They're just going for that like low-hanging fruit of, oh, people love cosmetics. Let's give them a way to make some cosmetics.
You want a light blue Pip Boy? We got
do you like cosmetics in single player games?
I don't give a fuck.
Do you like cosmetics ever?
No, I don't.
I'm like
It matters not one bit.
I'm okay with cosmetics in multiplayer games. Like I'll
I'm fine with them existing. I
I'll
just
pay
don't
for
care.
them in Path of Exile. I might pay for them in Destiny. I didn't pay for them the first time.
I paid for them in Overwatch.
Maybe this time. I buy loot boxes in Overwatch.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Just
I forgot to buy my last round of loot boxes before the new event was over. No!
Too bad.
Oh,
Wait another year.
it's over. It's forever gone.
I'm
Yeah,
sad.
I don't. Yeah, cosmetics just don't matter to me. It's not something I'm playing the game for. Because a lot of them are, especially if it's a first-person game, it's like I don't even see it.
It's true.
Why do I care what your experience is?
That's like
I'm not dressing
that's-
up for you. I'm
that's
here for me.
That's the reason they put you in third person in the tower in Destiny. 'Cause, like you gotta see how you look.
It tends to work really well for a lot of those multiplayer-based games, like Path of Exile, League of Legends. That's what their whole market's based on.
Path of Exile, admittedly, it's all cosmetic microtransactions, but they're fucking expensive.
I was looking up some
A
of the
set of armor
cosmetics.
is like they also use points, which is a bad system. But a set of armor is around $40.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's very expensive. It's how they like. It is a completely free game. You don't need this stuff to enjoy the game. But if you want to support them, you buy a set of armor. You buy a supporter pack. Supporter packs go anywhere from like $30 to $60 to like $500.
Oh.
But it's your call. Like if you get hundreds and hundreds of hours of enjoyment out of the game, buy the expensive supporter pack.
It's
Like,
everything from weapon effects, armor effects, footprint effects, alternate skill effects, hideout decorations, character effects, pets, and other classic effects.
But nothing
I've already invested in it. Like it's great.
But nothing that actually affects gameplay.
No, the one thing I will say is that like you're given 5 stash tabs, which is already like 100 times the amount of inventory you have in your character. But if you want to add to that, you can pay for more stash tabs. It's just like, hey, how much do you want to manage your inventory? And even I haven't paid for any more. Even having 5 is plenty. I will say that Adam bought me a tab for like currency to organize my currency, and that's been nice. But it was like $6. So That's the only one that isn't just cosmetic.
Yeah.
You're adding something.
Like might legitimately be something that you would enhance
Right,
your
but you don't
experience
need
with.
it because it is a game where you have plenty of inventory space. You can manage it yourself, that sort of stuff. It's just a matter of how you want to do it. But yeah, if you enjoy a game and you want to pay for microtransactions,
Yeah.
And if you enjoy modding and you want to make mods, make mods. Just don't expect to make money off of it.
True.
But if you need some help making your first mod,
yeah.
Yeah.
What if I do?
what if you did? We might have someone that can help you.
Who's that?
Thank you, Skillshare, for supporting this podcast. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 17,000 classes in things like design, Photoshop. They even have like cooking classes. Premium membership gives you an unlimited access so you can keep learning, find inspiration, and take on new projects whenever you want. First 500 people to use this promo link get their first 2 months free. That's as low as $10 a month after that if you want to keep learning and if you like it. If not, there's really no lock-in. You can just cancel anytime, no risk. Learn from anywhere, too. You can download the courses on your phone, iPad, Android, doesn't matter. You can watch them offline, take them with you, watch them on a plane, whenever you want to do it. So, yeah, again, the first 500 people to sign up receive 2 months free. Go to skl.sh/glitch, please, to start your free trial now. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. All right. Now we're going to talk about Mario plus Rabbids.
Yay!
Yes, a game that requires no skill. Just kidding, I love this game.
Okay, I was about to say. I was like, I thought you liked this game.
Love it.
It's so
Love
good. It's so good.
Okay, so you're very passionate
So,
about
are-
it.
I mean,
have,
I'm
you,
not
are you- have you
passionate.
played it?
Damn
I spent
good.
my time with the
other
Chosen
XCOM.
instead.
Okay, so the one
Well-
with there's no
I'm
team.
going to. I got it. I'm gonna. I got it. I'm gonna play it on the plane.
It's so good.
You played
I
vanilla
haven't had
XCOM.
time.
Listen,
Not
I will
Mario
be honest. Like the first hour and a half is like heavy tutorial. Like
Yes.
it's gonna take a while for you to get into the action.
Well, I got. I'm flying to PAX. I got time.
All right.
Moving on.
What a fantastic game that came out of the blue. Like, hearing the title of this game before they announced it or before they showed it at E3, I was like, oh, wow, this looks really, really stupid. Because it's nothing against the Rabbids, but it's a crossover game with Mario and another game series of much less pedigree.
Also, remember
Sure,
when
okay.
the first image of that leaked and everybody saw Rabid Peach and everyone was like, this is fake. No one would make anything this stupid.
Yeah.
This is fake.
I will say the humor in the game is like pretty stupid and pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like
Stupid fun is okay.
There's a lot of like so as
We
you
built a whole company on that. It's
so
great.
if you don't know, the game is a tactical turn-based. I guess you'd call it like a shooter-ish kind of game. It's like an XCOM game.
It's XCOM for Mario.
The overworld that you walk around in is sort of like Super Mario World-esque, where you're just kind of following paths. There are little secrets to find along the way, but also as you walk along, there are little like just press A to like investigate, and like you just see like a giant rubber duck in a toilet with like a spiked necklace, and they're like, I don't know what this is. It's like shit like that.
and they have like tableaus of rabbits running around. and,
Yeah.
like, Beepo, your little robot guy, will like comment on it like it's little race. And it's
Yeah.
like little fun things.
They
that
have
you can
all
look
sorts of
around the
like
world.
references and stupid humor. Like I don't
There's
know,
a
man.
part where a Goomba is using a geyser to clean his ass. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, they're like at least he has a pretty clean backside.
what interesting vignettes in
Yeah.
this world. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the advantage of me not having played those. I can ask directed questions and find out
Direct.
what the hell this is. All right, so it starts off where the two worlds are collided, right? Like
So-
peanut butter and chocolate kind of thing.
You would think that it would be like, okay, a wormhole opens up, the end, you really don't need any exposition. There's like actually a pretty detailed cutscene. It's like a 10-minute
It's a great. It's a good intro cutscene.
It's a good intro cutscene. There's actually like depth to this
Yeah.
story as to why these two worlds crossed over, which
Okay.
took me by surprise. I was not expecting
The
that at all.
justification is essentially a faceless, I would say, engineer, tinkerer.
No, you see her on the cover of a magazine.
Okay, there you go. But
Okay.
it's like an artistic representation of her.
Yes.
So she's tinkering in her basement, and she's working on something, and you don't really know what it is. Then the Rabbids show up because they have a like time or like a world warping laundry machine. Everything goes haywire. The goggles that she's working on end up on a Rabbid, and these goggles merge things together. Like so, there's a lamp and a Rabbid, and it becomes a Rabbid lamp. Things like that. And so now you get teleported to this world, and it's all sorts of like everything has been like mixed on top of each other, and that's sort of the justification.
Okay. So I've seen kind of things about the battle stuff, but really, what's the between? Like in XCOM, you go back to your base, you build facilities. It's more of an RTS. What's the between battle?
This is interesting. It is a path that you follow, kind of like Super Mario style, or Super Mario World style. But you're just you kind of just go through this path, and you happen upon battles, and then you explore that world in between. Then you can go back to a hub area where there are ways to equip your characters, upgrade your skill trees, see the museum of shit you've collected, play multiplayer battles, that sort of stuff.
And I'm assuming that kind of like XCOM, you will be able to build bases and things like that.
Oh,
because,
I don't know about
well,
that.
not bases, but new buildings. As you can see, there's
Oh, yeah,
something under construction back at Princess Peach's castle, which is your home
They get
hub.
those buildings just get built as you play the game. You're not actually doing.
Oh, you're not actually doing
You're not doing
anything?
You have no
choices.
management.
No.
It's not an
Okay.
RTS.
No, it just unlocks as you go. I will say I beat the first world. The end boss of the first world, I won't spoil it, but you've probably already seen it. It's it's a Rabbids plus a Mario thing, so it's like an homage, or not a Mario thing, a Rabbids plus a Nintendo thing. I guess it is. It's an homage to an older Nintendo character.
Okay.
Or not an homage. It is an older Nintendo character mixed with a rabbit. And it was an awesome battle, great music, and the boss battles actually have some depth to them. You're not just shooting a guy 100 times. There are mechanics you need to execute on, and it's a lot of fun. And then once you beat him, more stuff unlocks. After you beat the first world, it basically says, hey, there are 10 challenges throughout the first world you can go do. Now you've unlocked a power to explore more of the first world, and you can go back and replay all of the missions from the first world, or any of the worlds you beat, and get all the, each time you beat a fight, there's a ranking. If you get a perfect in each one, you get more points and more experience for your skill tree.
So
Also
you can
more
retry to
coins
try
to
and
buy
get
stuff.
better.
Right, you can go back to at any point after you beat the world. There are 4 worlds. They take a while. It probably took me 4 to 5 hours to beat the first world, and then I have to go back and do everything else in that world.
I think my favorite part about this game is the fact that it is made by Ubisoft, but it feels like a Mario game. There's, if you go through a red ring, you have to collect the 8 red coins and you get something special.
I totally know that that's
Right,
a thing.
you're not a Nintendo person. So for Nintendo people, or if you don't know, if there's usually in Mario games, you walk through a red ring and 8 coins will appear and hard to get to places, and you have to get all 8 and you get something special before the time runs out. And that mechanic is in here. And it's that's just such a Mario thing in a Ubisoft game. And there's original music, but it's also mixed with the Mario music sometimes. And the game is beautiful. Yep. It's so pretty in handheld
looks pretty.
and docked mode. And it's just I didn't think that I would love this game. I was playing it in the office yesterday, and I just whispered, "Oh no," to myself, and Eddie was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, I love this.
Oh, no.
I'm so mad that I absolutely love this game. And
That's
it's
great.
And I've never played XCOM before. I've never played strategy
Oh,
games.
this apparently might be a good intro to it.
Exactly. I didn't know that I would like strategy games, but if this is baby's first strategy game, hell, I may pick up XCOM because I really love these mechanics, the cover and being able to move and see, oh, well, now it's 50% that I'll hit him. Now it's 100% that I'll hit him. That's fun. And it's also Rabid Peach takes selfies all the time, and she's cute.
So one thing that separates this a little bit from XCOM, for those of you who are into XCOM, there's no in between percentages for hitting people. It's either you can't see them, you can't hit them. They're under half cover, you have 50% chance to hit them, or they have no cover between you and them, and it's 100% chance.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy to know when you're going to hit someone. There are, as far as movement goes, you can move once. You can go, or depending on how much you've upgraded your skill tree, you can go ahead and dash through an enemy and then still move, and that does a little bit of damage to the enemy. You can jump on your teammates and then land on enemies and things like that. And the order you move your character in is really important because it determines A, how far you'll be able to get, but B, also the sort of combos you'll be able to do with your movement abilities along with the special abilities that they have.
I think the movement is the most interesting part of this game, because that's what separates it the most from XCOM.
Yeah.
In XCOM, you can move one space and then do an action, or you could move 2 spaces and
Double
dash.
move, yeah.
But in this one, if you want to move those 2 spaces and dash, you have to have one of
So
your
he's team jumping right
yeah,
now.
you have to have one of your characters in your range, and you jump off of them, and that gets you an extra space that you can move.
Yep.
And then you can also, I think we showed it earlier, you can do the dash move, where you can, kind of like Adam just mentioned, select your character, I'm doing it right now, go in for an attack, and then move somewhere else.
Yep.
And so you can set up all these crazy combos, and especially later when the warp pipes come into play,
I love
you can
the
just
warp
be
pipes.
you're so mobile in this game in a way that you totally aren't in XCOM. It's crazy. you can just be bouncing across the map all in one turn, doing damage to like everything, and it's really fun to set those combos up.
They have
You also, sorry.
no, go for it.
You also have you have a movement ability, an attack ability, and a skill ability. So you're able to use all three of those in one turn. Whereas like XCOM, you would be like you Overwatch and you shoot. So you can move, you can shoot, and you can use a skill in any order. Skills are stuff like you can go into a style like an Overwatch style where you're waiting for someone to walk by and then you shoot at them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Or things like you buff your teammates around you or heal your teammates around you. And yeah, they're also like the enemies have those abilities too, so you got to like be careful of that. And sometimes the guns have procs on them. Like when you crit in XCOM, I believe it's just generally a lot of damage.
Right.
But in this, there are different modifiers that like happen when you crit. Things like honey, where they won't be able to move if you crit, or like the fun ones for me are like bounce, where if you hit them, they go flying and they just bounce in any direction. You can bounce them off the map and do like a ton of damage or just one-shot them. But if you bounce them, like sometimes you bounce them and they bounce right towards you and they're like, now you're in danger. So it's like a risk-reward thing. But it's fucking fun, dude.
It is, and
so much fun.
when we were talking about the movement, they actually have a level that's not battle. I don't know if there are more because I've only played through. I'm almost done with the first world, where it's not kill everybody. It's just get to the certain point. So
Okay.
you just have to strategize to use your movement abilities, utilize the bouncing with your teammates or the warp pipes and stuff. And like that was just something that's so cool for like, yeah, it's a strategy game, so you have to strategize. But I found that really fun that it wasn't just like kill all enemies. It was like get to this point and survive, whether you kill them or whether you sneak around back. It's up to you. Also, the different weapons have descriptions on them when you go into the store, and they kind of give you hints on how to unlock them and where they are, which is nice. It's not just like figure it out yourself,
Right.
numbnuts. It's like it's a Mario game, so I guess if kids are playing it. I don't know
So
what kids are
typically
playing
Mario doesn't call anyone numbnuts. So.
this. No, Mario.
In this game, though, like there's some real potty humor.
There's
in
There
it.
is,
it is
yeah.
a
Very
straight potty
unlike
humor
Mario,
game. It's
yeah.
awesome.
Also, a little more mature.
Beepo is a sarcastic little fuck. I
Beepo
love
is
Beepo
totally
so
just
much.
Weebo from Flubber, except white and blue.
It's true. It's true.
There are also like side missions, not necessarily like battles, but you find little as you explore the world, you find little like blue cannons that'll take you into an area where you just gotta collect a bunch of shit, and it's like a mini timed puzzle and things like that. I don't know if there are more things like that, but it's a lot of fun to try to go and collect all the treasure and find all those little secret missions and stuff like that.
Adam, you said you've beaten the first world?
I've beaten the first world. I'm on to the second one. There's some escort mission in the second one that I just beat and I hated it.
Okay,
all
so
escort
apparently-
missions suck.
After you finish a world, you can go back through the world and you'll find like rabbits sitting at each of the different stages you've played through, and they're challenge modes that'll
Yep.
give you harder to finish.
Yeah,
like,
they're
levels.
they're very hard. I did the first one, the very easy one, and that was a fucking challenge. I was like,
Really?
kill 14 people in 3 turns, and I was like, I don't know fuck to do this.
How do you feel the challenge stacks up? I mean, is that where most of the meat of trying it gets hard, or
I've only failed a mission one time so far. It does feel like you have to play your cards right to sort of not lose your characters. But the thing is that like some missions where you just have to get to a point. If one person gets to that point, the whole mission's over. Or if 2 people die and or get stunned and one person survives, like you still win the mission. Things like that. The game does allow you before you even fight to float around the map to see where all the enemy placements are.
really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And the thing is, they also spawn mid fight, so you might not know where they're going to pop up. But additionally, during your turn, when you're moving, unlike in XCOM, you can actually move your cursor around. It's your little robot, and it will tell you like what your percentage chance to hit if you move to that spot is on an enemy.
Oh, that's cool.
Additionally, you can pull the camera out at any point during your turn and see where people are placed. So if you don't have an idea again of where they have moved to, you can pull out and fly around at any time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's XCOM for babies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
and by nature of it being a Mario game, nobody can actually die. So your characters come back at the end of every fight. So you end up playing a little looser than you would an XCOM game. Because with XCOM you're worried about, okay, if I like rush in here, this dude is dead forever. But here you're like, okay, if he dies, he'll come back at the end of the fight. And so you play a little riskier than you would in XCOM.
That does seem like that kind of eliminates part of the need for like save scumming or anything like that.
It does. There are a couple things that make it challenging. In each world, it's broken down into chapters. But in chapters, you could have multiple fights. And if you lose a lot of health in the first fight, that carries over to the next fight. So like you can start sort of like handicapped. However, if I've never done it, but if you hit the Y button at the beginning of a battle, it says easy mode, and it will refill your character's health and give them 50% more health. So if you just want to get through something, it gives you the ability to do that.
Well, that's kind of cool, though.
That's
if you just want to
awesome.
play through it for more of a casual player.
Right.
Oh, I thought the easy mode meant it was already on easy mode. That's a button that you have to press.
No, you push that button if you.
You've been better than you knew.
Yay! I was like, I guess we'll play on easy mode. I don't know where
Did
to
you
change
think
it.
it was just like judging you?
I thought it was just like, by the way,
Oh,
bitch,
you-
you're on easy mode. And I was
You're not
like,
ready for it.
okay, I guess. I've been better than I thought I was. Good to know.
But great game. The worlds also they don't stick to a singular theme. They sort of have different environments sprinkled throughout. So the first world is like normal, like green plains, and then jungle and things like that. The second world is desert and like ice. I think also food at some point, like dessert. Maybe it's just desert.
Dessert is a Mario thing. They always do the dessert world. I do have one qualm that Eddie pointed out yesterday that I didn't think that, I was like, it's probably not that bad. But then last night I encountered it. Walking around the world when in between battles is sometimes boring and long.
It is a little bit short, but the thing is, like, they generally break it up with shit to find.
Oh yeah, no, they do. But it's like, you know, the maze in the first world. There's like that
Yeah, yeah,
wall
yeah.
maze.
Walls,
That
yeah.
I got so angry by the end of it. I spent.
Why?
Because I was figuring out the red coin puzzle. And it just took me a while to figure it out, and there was like nothing going on, and it was just like a big green block, and I was just like, this is so boring and annoying.
Yeah,
I just want to fight
they
something.
could afford to let you move a little faster in the open world. But
I kept trying to press B to run or something and just get through it, but that's out of a whole game that I bought and have been playing for hours. That's my one qualm.
That's I mean, it's a valid one because that's something you spend a lot of time doing.
Exactly.
For sure. But yeah, no, I mean, if that's the worst thing you got to say about it, it sounds pretty positive.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's also pretty annoying when you're walking around in the world.
There it goes.
In the early
now
part
we're
of the
getting
game.
the negativity. Yeah, let it out.
In the early part, I mean, I've only played an hour or two, but in that first world, there's a lot of like shit you can find, and you'll click on it, and it's like, oh, you can't interact with this yet. So clearly, you're supposed to come back at a later point, which is fine, but it's just a little obnoxious that like you're going through this first time and you're like, oh, that looks cool, I want to go over there. And it's like, no, you can't do that yet.
I like that. That's Metroidvania style, where
It's
it's like
very normal. Yeah.
you need to get this new power to unlock it.
It's like a teaser trailer for the
Yeah.
future of the game.
and you sort of make a little note in your head or on paper. And
That's
come back to
fine,
it.
but there's like so much of that. Like
There is.
Is there? Okay.
But
There's
it
a
also
lot, but,
but
like-
also like when you go back to Clear World, it'll tell you found 6 out of 10 collectibles, you found 1 out of 2
what?
cannons. Yeah, there's
that's cool.
yeah, it's
That's
great.
cool.
And you can specifically like teleport to certain parts of the air, like of the world, so you don't have to walk through the whole thing. So
that's cool.
All right, sounds like positive overall.
Yeah.
Great
I'll be checking it out on the plane if I can stop playing
Good
War of the
shit.
Chosen. We'll see. As the last thing here, just as kind of on the heels of Mario plus Rabbids, we're gonna see if any of you guys got a crazy pitch for another chocolate and peanut butter kind of mix over, since no one really thought this one was gonna work. Shut the fuck up, Hayward.
So here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Ubisoft and Square Enix
Yeah.
already did it for me. They
All right.
announced.
Innovate. Come on.
Okay, all right. Other than Assassin's Creed and Final Fantasy 15, which they did, and I cannot wait for.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Final Fantasy 15 has an Assassin's Creed, like kind of like the Moogle Chocobo Festival. It's the Assassin's Creed Festival, and they're wearing Bayek's actual outfit, and Cindy has a mission for them.
What?
And it's been planned since the very beginning, apparently. If you look, like in one of the original cutscenes in Final Fantasy, a man is holding a newspaper, and there's an assassin symbol on it. It's been planned since like forever, this crossover. And
Bizarre.
so
That is
it's
very bizarre.
It's and Noctis gets a hidden blade. And
Oh
everything.
my
Like I'm
God.
really excited for it. These are two of my favorite franchises crossing over, and everybody in their assassin's outfits look really cool, and I'm very excited.
that's the thing about crossovers, and I thought the same thing about Mario and Rabbids. I always think upon first impression, it's like a cheap cash grab. Here's 2 names that people like. Let's put them together, and people will pay for it. And I don't like that generally, but it like totally works in Mario and Rabbids. Does it work in any other game? Has there been any other crossovers that work really well?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts is a movie crossover though.
But I mean, it's two franchises
Yeah.
coming together, and that's what I was gonna say for my crossover. I would like to see a Kingdom Hearts-esque game with like.
Kingdom Hearts also kind of feels like it's just a Disney game, but Sora is added to it.
Well, I think the thing is it's Sora and his friends and his own story
Yeah.
and the Disney world because of traveling with the gummy ship. There it is. There's the Assassin's Festival.
So bizarre.
I'm so
That
excited
is
about it.
very bizarre.
So bizarre.
And then wait,
That
I
makes
You walk
no
through crowds
sense.
like this.
I hope so. I mean, so I was talking to some of the UB guys, and they said that there's like Cindy has a mission for them. There's a story. There's a reason that all of this is happening. And my favorite part.
Wow.
They look so great.
They look so silly.
And then there's his hidden blade.
Noctis just murders people.
Pretty much. I mean, he always murders
That's
people.
awesome.
I'm so excited. Like,
I like seeing him pull him to the hay. That's dope.
yeah, it's gonna be great. But having these original Square Enix characters for Final Fantasy or for Kingdom Hearts, and then having them with the gummy ship travel through worlds, and they intermix this original story with the hearts of the princesses. So it's like it does seem kind of like it's a Disney game with these random characters in it, but the way that
But the thing is that it's not too established franchise.
it's not too established franchise.
It is-
It's true. Well, Disney is an
Final
established franchise.
Fantasy and
Okay, yeah, you're
Disney
right,
as a whole.
That's
I
true
feel
because
like.
You're right.
they do have Final Fantasy
Right.
characters in it. You fight Sephiroth. Cloud
You're right.
is in there.
You're totally right.
So I like Kingdom Hearts. I would like to see.
Are there other crossovers though that work? I mean, not
Marvel
counting like
versus Capcom?
Disney.
Marvel vs. Capcom, that works. Yeah.
works.
I would like to see a Marvel something, because like people keep saying, oh, there's probably going to be a Marvel world in Kingdom Hearts, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I'd like to see another, like an original story with Marvel characters, kind of like Kingdom Hearts.
A
That's
lot
what
of what
I'd
I'm
like to see.
finding for crossover games are all fighting games. Street Fighter X,
Yeah.
Tekken.
Yep.
I mean, because it's the easy thing to do.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what you always want
Mortal
to know, which group of characters could beat up the other group of characters.
Right.
It's true.
That's why I want Star Wars versus Star Trek. Finally settle it. Let's.
I mean, obviously Star Wars would win.
That's the
Who
great
in Star
debate.
Trek is good?
It's just talk about ship battles. Usually, it's like the Enterprise will blow
Does
up
the
a Death
Enterprise
Star.
shoot stuff?
It shoots lots of stuff. It's
Does
just
the
like-
Enterprise shoot stuff? I guess you really don't watch Star Trek.
No.
you can't even.
I've never seen an episode.
No, they
Okay.
fly through a
Nothing wrong
perfect
with that.
world where nothing happens.
I mean, don't they explore stuff? I don't know. Is that the
Yeah,
whole point?
you got to shoot stuff when you're
All right,
exploring.
Why? I don't know. Do you want to mess up the Final Frontier? That's all I know about Star Trek.
It's
You
full of
played
angry
Star Trek Bridge Crew. I saw you in the line.
You did.
Oh, did I shoot stuff?
Probably.
I was the
I think
engineer.
we're discovering that the
so-
problem is not that she doesn't know Star Trek, is that she doesn't have long-term memory.
Yeah, I forgot what I had for breakfast. Oh, there's my breakfast.
Doggies.
What about you? You want any crossovers to happen?
That's
you
what.
said,
That's
you said
what
Star
I
Wars,
want.
Star
Yeah.
Trek.
I want to finally settle it. I want to see what a Star Destroyer can do against.
Who do you side with in that?
Star Wars.
You really are lobbying hard for Star Wars.
Wars.
I mean, Star Wars has got the
Yeah.
Jedi.
I
They're gonna
am
win,
way
let's
more
be
into
honest.
Star Wars than Star Trek. But
Yeah.
In a similar vein as Star Trek, my crossover, I wrote this down because I was so excited about it. Hitman cross Mass Effect. So
What?
Agent 47 mysteriously finds himself on the Citadel and must use his newfound biotic powers to eliminate his targets in increasingly ridiculous ways.
So
He has a pitch.
They just like
Oh, yeah. I was so stoked about
It's
this idea.
they just uncork him and it's like, oh, look what we found in the back. It's this bald guy.
I think Agent 47 causing chaos in the Mass Effect universe would be the best game ever created.
Oh, I mean, hey, they're looking for ideas. Andromeda went.
I mean, and Hitman is technically an independent IP now.
so will Hitman kill Sarah Ryder?
That would be the best opening. Just both the Ryder twins. Just pew, pew. But yeah, I think, and then give him like the biotic powers, and then he can like knock a chandelier off with his psychic
I'm
powers.
into that
would be-
idea.
I take it back.
idea.
I want to see Overwatch mixed with a dating sim.
I want to see Overwatch
Oh
mixed with
God.
an MMO where it's like Overwatch but an MMO.
How?
That sounds awesome.
Adam's like,
does that
just make
mean?
Overwatch an MMO.
What
does that mean? How does that work?
I'm
what
making
do they
a
do?
joke because that's what Overwatch was intended to be. That's what Titan was.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I don't remember that. I don't have a long-term memory either.
Yeah.
Mika, just so you know, there is an Overwatch dating
Oh,
sim.
I know. I've played both of them.
Okay, just
but they're
wanna make
short, and I want like a full-fledged, legitimate one.
Also, the only crossover I'm finding that's not a fighting game is Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, which combined two of those series
Yeah.
for.
So amazing.
Yeah, apparently it was really, really
Other
good.
crossovers that aren't fighting games. There's like that Project X Zone. It's like an XCOM like strategy game, but it's like
Rayman
all
and
these
Rabbids.
anime
Oh, right.
people.
Do you guys remember back in the day, TV shows used to do crossovers like that too? Like I remember Disney Channel did that a lot back in the good days of ancient Disney Channel. It was like That's So Raven, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and Hannah Montana would all be in one episode together.
Do you know what my favorite TV crossover was?
What?
It was Cops and X-Files.
What? They did a crossover?
And it was so it was like shot like it was Cops, but it was like a sci-fi happening thing that happened. I can't
That's
remember
amazing.
what exactly happened, but I remember watching it and being like, "This is scary as fuck." But I was like 5, so.
One more thing. Yesterday Nintendo dropped all those indie announcements for those indie games, and Peyton, you and I were talking about something interesting with the No More Heroes game, where you saw something in that trailer.
So the No More Heroes trailer came out, and the trailer doesn't really show it, but I mean, in the trailer he's playing Hotline Miami, and I guess I didn't watch the announcement, I just watched the trailer itself. But I guess after the announcement, they said that this game was going to be a crossover with No More Heroes and like 6 different indie games. Hotline Miami was the only one they announced, but so it's unsure, but people are speculating that it's either going to be you're going to play like a level of Hotline Miami as Travis Touchdown, the No More Heroes guy, or it's going to be No More Heroes, like a traditional third-person action game with like a Hotline Miami theme. But both of those sound cool, and so people have been speculating other games that might be appearing. Like people are saying that Undertale would be a good fit.
Stardew Valley.
Travis Touchdown just murders everyone in Undertale.
He goes through town killing everyone.
Yes, in Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think that sounds like a really novel and interesting idea, is to just like jump through all these indie games.
All right. Well, those are all horrible ideas. So,
Lovely.
thank you for joining us for Glitch, Please. We'll be back next week with another episode.
We're talking about Destiny.
We're talking about
Yeah,
Destiny.
buddy.
I might
If,
be here, I might not. I don't know.
You might be too.
I might be just playing
Probably
Destiny.
playing Destiny, yeah.
You know?
If you're a first member, we'll be doing a after show. Go check us out there. What's it called again? We make this
New Game Plus.
New Game Plus is what it's called. We make New Game Plus. It's first only. Go watch that too. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff.